Yeah, hey everyone. So Matt Hartman here, and today I will be talking about analytics across a lot of the Gemini Enterprise Agent Platform digital ecosystem. So in the previous video, we talked about our AI gateway constructs and kind of some of the observability ingress and egress to and through that system of record. Then the next inevitable question is, okay, let's say I want to follow across the entire digital value chain. So from my end application, so let's say the Gemini Enterprise application platform, all the way downstream to my agents that are deployed on agent runtime. How can I observe and see what's available out of the box within those services and constructs? That'll be a lot of what today is. How do I do it? How do I enable it? And what's available to me? So first things first, I want to talk about the Gemini Enterprise application set. So with that said, a lot of these basically analytics that are available are business adoption to improve your ROI and kind of have those product driven metrics so that, hey, I understand what my users are basically utilizing within the platform to prove again the ROI. And if you need to make changes, how can I do that accordingly? So whether it's business leaders, AI stakeholders, kind of what have you, these are those golden path metrics. They are enabled out of the box, which is great, assuming there is some sort of connected data store. If you need to enable a data store, there's documentation for that. And what these metrics are able to show again is usage across anything and everything within your Gemini Enterprise application. So again, these are observed on a per app basis. So if I go to the analytics blade within my underlying service set, there's a couple of pieces of information which are pretty pertinent. So if I filter this for, let's say, the last 7 days, for example, I'm going to just basically refresh this. First things first is adoption. So who's doing what when? Who's active? Is there any sort of churn associated with that? How many seats do I have? Again, this is a trial instance, hence the 100% growth rate decrease. With that as well, and one of the more pertinent pieces of information is the usage and quality and the agent information available. So if you have any sort of feedback, hey, what are people doing? What are they querying? Are they using agents? Did they like and dislike answers? If so, what was wrong with that information? What data are they getting out? And basically, hey, what are people doing within Gemini Enterprise? So are they looking at the agent gallery? Are they performing deep research? Are they using Notebook LM? Kind of all that information is available here where you can, again, filter. So again, these Looker dashboards are basically pre-created and predefined for you with the given criteria and any sort of filtering you might want to enable with that. Third item is the underlying agent blade. So here's my agent dashboard that basically says, hey, whether it's first party, third party, out of the box agents, what's the usage of it? What are people doing? And we'll talk more about these agent sessions in a second as well as Notebook LM. So any sort of deep research capabilities, what are people doing and how are people utilizing it, which gets to the final point, which is a simple value calculator available. So basically it takes a couple different predefined prompts. Hey, how much is my employee hour rate and how many minutes am I saving for happy path scenarios? So any sort of search, any sort of blended search across multiple data sources. How many minutes am I essentially saving by leveraging AI? It's able to create a calculator of basically the value spent, whether it's over X time period, yearly, employee hours, that again, you could take these product-driven metrics and take them upstream to showcase that ROI to your underlying customer base. We also have user level metrics. So again, what are specific users doing within the platform? That's private preview for now, so I'm not going to showcase that. But again, think per user, maybe I perform this search, this agent indication. What am I doing in a more granular basis? So again, all of that information is available on a per application set within Gemini Enterprise. Second part of this is if I go to the agent runtimes. So again, we talked about the underlying agent platform capabilities. We talked about the gateway. We've talked about how the gateway calls into these services. Next inevitable question is, well, what's available to me within my underlying service set? So whether, again, it is these deployments on the agent runtime or the Gemini Enterprise platform, all this information, though it is in a dashboard, is fully OTel compliant. So there's a set of APIs to export these metrics. You can funnel them to whether it's something like BigQuery, GCS, you can create eventing, log syncs. You can basically funnel this information to Google Cloud's observability stack. That's all available to you. And again, it's all going to be basically out of the box. So for my agent runtime, so my more managed runtime solution, we talked previously about this yield rescue agent, which calls into a bunch of tools by MCP, etc. How you enable open telemetry is very easy, just a simple toggle. So, hey, I want to enable this information. And at that point in time, you're going to get a bunch of observability information within your underlying service set. So let's take that example we utilized before. So I use Gemini Enterprise to call into my agent gateway to use this yield rescue agent. So with all of that said, again, what you're going to be able to see, what you'll see is the agent reasoning loop, tool invocation loop, basically anything and everything that is going on within that underlying session. So here's my session information. If I have any sort of test evaluation or evaluation harness, it's going to be there. And when you think of an agent leverages a set of models and a set of tools. So let's see, hey, we had model calls. These are the models. Here's their subsequent latency. Again, very similar filtering to what we talked about before. Tokens in, tokens out. Tooling, same thing too. Hey, what tools are they using? What's the latency associated with the tool? So again, you can make those product-led basically decisions as per what's working, what's not working, and how can we improve our systems of record. Another piece of information that I wanted to show is per session, you can replay sessions. So you can replay a conversation. If I just take this session here that I utilized, I think it was about an hour or so ago, what you're able to see is basically this graph of data and metadata of the underlying trace details of, well, what went wrong, what went under that happy pet scenario. And again, all of the basically data and metadata you get that you either get out of the box through the ADK or you inject via open telemetry and variables. So basically all the information within the agent, what it calls into, its reasoning, basically its tool invocation, request response information. So from a debugging perspective, this becomes very, very prevalent. And again, if I ever wanted to replay this information or go through the underlying playground, which we talked about in our initial call for the agent gateway, you can do that as well. So as granular as you want to get, you can get. And again, all this information is exportable. You can create a logging sync, GCS, BigQuery. You can funnel this information to your OTel of choice. All of that's, again, available out of the box through all of these different constructs we talked about today. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Have a nice rest of your day, everyone, and thank you for your time.